every now and then, I wind up doing a video where I'm eventually going to regret it. This is going to be one of those videos. So, I bought Call of Duty, as a lot of you know, because I've streamed it. So obviously I bought it. I didn't just magically wind up with a copy of Call of Duty. I also don't reach out for free copies of games because I want to be able to say whatever the hell I want about a game. So a lot of you know I'm very skeptical about Call of Duty, and I'm a very vocal person against Call of Duty. But why am I that way? I actually used to be a huge Call of Duty person. Loved Call of Duty. You may even have called me a dude bro back in the day. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. We don't really need to go there. I mean, literally, me and my friends would play Gears of War, Call of Duty, and Halo, and just drink all the time and go to the gym and stuff like that. That is not me anymore. I am not that individual. I have been very vocal against Call of Duty. Well, and that really started a little after Modern Warfare 3. That was really where I started to fall off interest-wise. Modern Warfare 2, loved it. World at War, loved it. I was incredible at World at War. Modern Warfare 3 was where stuff just started to feel very different and where I started to personally lose interest. And, well, a lot of that is kind of something that happens in par for the course when you pop out almost identical games every year. This is literally like if Halo became a yearly release and didn't make these huge changes. While I do understand Call of Duty pulls in huge amounts of dollars every year, I do think that yearly cycle is part of what hurts the game overall. Obviously, if you own one Call of Duty, they are all very similar in gameplay and the way that they actually feel. So it's not like you're going to be drastically shocked when you play one versus the other. And a lot of that is something you should anticipate when you're playing a game in the same series. It should have, to some degree, the same feel. However, we have over, like, 25 Call of Duties out at this point, right? I mean, how many is it? Oh, shit, there's a lot. My lord, I don't know if anyone's really ever thought about this, but how many Call of Duties have released? Now, one thing I do expect out of Call of Duty, and one thing I would be really shocked if they did ever change, is I do expect it to be a fast-paced shooter. That is kind of why I picked this one up, fast-paced shooter. World War II wasn't quite as fast-paced. I mean, it was still fast-paced, but it was slower than the regular Call of Duty formula. And I mean, I did say nice things about World War II last year. However, it did run stale very quickly, which is still a concern I have right now with Black Ops 4. However, I am really enjoying Black Ops 4. I know I didn't anticipate saying that publicly, but I'm really liking Black Ops 4. Whether it be the actual Blackout mode, which is their take on the Battle Royale mode, which I originally thought was going to feel very tacked on. It wasn't going to be quite as polished, and let's face it, no Battle Royale experience that we've had yet has been super polished. Even if you look at Fortnite, Fortnite's not that polished. There are a lot of bugs that pop up, there are a lot of glitches that pop up, there are issues that happen in Fortnite. And whereas personally I'm not a big fan of the building mechanic, which has always been what kind of has hurt Fortnite in my eyes, and why I don't really play it is just because if you're not good at the building, you're not going to be good at the game. Well, I am really good at Call of Duty. Unfortunately, that doesn't always translate over to Blackout. I mean, there are modes, there are like games where I'll have like 5 or 6 kills and I still lose because I choke at the end. Or there are games where I have no kills. It's hit or miss with that. Team Deathmatch, I'm like 99.9% of the time always like 1.5 kill death or above. So I'm very good at the traditional multiplayer in Call of Duty. I probably always will be. It is just something I've done very well. For those of you who don't play Team Deathmatch, your KD is the only thing that matters. You win by the amount of kills your team has. The more kills your team has, the quicker you win. So if you die more, the enemy team now has more points. If you kill more, you have more points. So your kill-death spread is the most important thing in Team Deathmatch. That's why I'm good at Team Deathmatch. So, the issue though with Blackout is obviously of one life. You die, you're back in. I will say this, Blackout has shocked me. It is probably the most polished Battle Royale game that there is so far. I have not played anything else that has Battle Royale that plays quite as well as Call of Duty's. Do I think it is capable of killing Fortnite or PUBG? So PUBG, as a lot of people try to point out, is lost a lot of its player base. I wouldn't call it dying because it still has a tremendously huge player base. But yes, when you play Call of Duty's Blackout, it is noticeably more polished and very similar to the way PUBG plays. If I had to compare it to any of them, PUBG would be the one that I would probably compare it to, because obviously you don't really have so much of a building mechanic. You do have some defensive stuff you can put up, like a barricade or some barbed wire. So I mean, you can fortify an area, but it's not like, hey, let me build this damn building real quick. I'm gonna build a skyscraper right here in the middle of nowhere. I really dislike Fortnite sometimes. So I will say this. If you have thought about getting Call of Duty, you probably should. It's actually really good. Especially if you haven't really gotten to play much of anyone's Battle Royale. So if you haven't played PUBG, or maybe you weren't able to get into PUBG because the bugs or the graphics bothered you, but Call of Duty looks immensely better than PUBG, at least on console. PUBG is very ugly on console. It's actually not even that pretty on PC. So yeah, we'll go ahead and say Call of Duty still wins even on PC. Now, let's keep in mind too, let's also keep in mind, they have zombies. Zombies do appear even in the Blackout. Not only in certain areas, and you can earn certain things by going through these zombie-infested areas. And there are characters that you can unlock. The one area I will say Fortnite and PUBG do better is character customization in their Battle Royale mode. There is not a lot of customization options in Call of Duty's except for pre-created characters, which I do kind of dislike. I never thought I would say this, but I wish they would have put some kind of skin system in, whether it had been loot boxes or here just buy the skin you want. I would have preferred it to be earn this, like, oh, you can earn this hat for doing this. I like earning stuff because it makes me feel like, hey, I got this because you couldn't pull this off. Like, I got 100 headshots with an ass potato, but you couldn't. Don't ask what an ass potato is, because I don't know. I just pulled that out of my ass. So, I just think that's very interesting, though, to see them put out the best version, which, I mean, Call of Duty is known for its polish. That's never where anyone's like, oh, this one was very unpolished. They're usually very polished games. The noob tube isn't also a huge problem in this one. It is once someone gets it. There's one character in the multiplayer who the noob tube is her special ability, and you have to hit a certain amount of kills and points to get your special ability, and then you can get... the character I use is Nomad, and he has a dog. One dog. Just uno dog. And the dog gets you a couple kills usually, but then usually you wind up walking up on the dog and it's like drinking out of a puddle or some stupid shit like that. And you're like, what are you doing? You should be killing something. Just drinking this puddle. Hi. So I would say that this has probably been my favorite Call of Duty overall. The zombies I would probably say is one of the weaker parts. And usually the zombies is part of where it's super strong. It's not a bad zombies map, it's just a very, very, very in-depth zombies map. There's a lot of things you have to do to actually beat the zombies. There's just too much to accomplish. And there's too many different areas, and they all look very similar. It's like being in a damn labyrinth, and it is arena themed, so I get it, I understand. It's how it should be. It is fun to play the zombies. Unfortunately, I've never had enough people to really go through and actually accomplish everything in it that I need to accomplish to unlock anything, but, you know, It's how it works when you play games online. Communicating with others is not always everyone else's strong suit. But guys, I am curious to hear what you think. I'll never buy Call of Duty again. I remember saying that. I think I said that this year. I'm done. I'm not buying another Call of Duty. And sure as shit, I bought Call of Duty. Again, I bought every single Call of Duty. So I'm curious what you guys think. Oh, you know, maybe it's, oh, I've been playing it and I love it. It's fantastic. Great Call of Duty. I love Blackout. I don't know. I'm curious to your guys' thoughts on this. Also, if you want to follow me anywhere else, all of my links, as usual, are in the description box. And don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. You can also click that subscribe button. If you do click the subscribe button, you also got to ding that little bell, because if you don't do both, YouTube's never going to let you know I uploaded. That's just how it works. Clicking subscribe just isn't good enough. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll have plenty more content coming for you, so stick around.